Spoke Mr. Feeney.
And through you to the members, I rise in support of this underlying bill and feel grateful to have this opportunity to speak in favor of a measure that I know that this body has supported overwhelmingly in previous sessions. Madam President, you brought members of our caucus together late last year and just before the start of the 191st session of the Senate. And as we gathered that day to solidify our own bonds with each other and for the benefit of the Commonwealth and our constituents, our colleagues may remember that we watched a short video of a talk by Simon Sinek. The noted author and speaker is well known for his theory that to truly affect change and to alter behavior, we must start with our why. The how and the what is certainly important to what we do here. But the why is what drives us. It's what focuses us. The why is what signals to the people we are sent here to represent that our decisions are not made in a vacuum steeped just in statutes and policy, but in fact they are connected to people. They are the result of the stories that we hear across the Commonwealth, the stories of our constituents, the stories of our people, the stories that we consider on days like this, Madam President, and the stories that I believe we are called here to share. With that in mind, Madam President, and with a heavy personal focus on the why in today's debate, I rise to tell the story of a family from my district that joins with us today. Jerry Sibley and Jerry Katz, who are with us in the gallery holding a framed photo of their son, Jordan, are no strangers to many of us. For the last 12 years, Mr. Sibley has testified at public hearings, knocked on our doors, called our offices, and emailed our accounts. He never envisioned having to become an advocate in our halls. It was never his plan. But tragically, Mr. Sibley and his loved ones have a powerful and tragic why. You see, just over 12 years ago, their son Jordan was getting ready to graduate from Foxborough High School. Having moved to the town just prior, he had spent the year making friends and building bonds with his peers. Known as a talented young photographer, Jordan became the photographer for the football team and was frequently seen capturing moments in time for his classmates and his friends. Those moments include the senior prom, at which Jordan attended back in May of 2007. Excited to get those photos in the hands of his classmates, the day after the prom, Mother's Day, Jordan left breakfast at a local deli with his family to head out and see his friends. Later in the day, Madam President, Jordan Sibley was driving in the nearby community of Norton when he received a phone call from his parents. It was your average, normal, seemingly insignificant, friendly, and loving conversation that all of us have been blessed to have with family members thousands of times in our lives. And as Mr. Sibley took the phone from his wife to chat and check in with his son, he had no idea that that benign conversation, that fleeting moment, would be a snapshot in time that would be indelibly etched into his mind for the rest of his life. And one that would go from normal and unremarkable to one that is incredibly tragic and painful. In the middle of that conversation between father and son, between Jerry and Jordan, the call disconnected. Believing that they simply lost service, or perhaps that Jordan's phone just needed to be charged, Mr. Sibley tried to call his son again and again and again. The doorbell rang at the Sibley home in Foxborough a bit later. The police officer at the door asked Jordan's parents to go with him to the hospital. It was there that Mr. Sibley's life and the life of his family changed forever. Jordan, the well-liked, always smiling, talented photographer and loving son and brother, the soon-to-be high school graduate and college student, had been in a terrible accident that afternoon, and he did not survive. It is believed that Jordan, while holding the phone and having that conversation with his dad, dropped the phone in his car, unbuckled his seatbelt, fished for the phone, and collided head-on with an oak tree, killing him instantly. I tell that story, Madam President, not because Jordan's story is unique, though the result may be, but because the act that led to his death is all too common. It's that simple act of holding a phone while driving that has become commonplace. It's also that act, Madam President, that ended Jordan's life and brought pain to my community. We have the opportunity to finally, once and for all, enact smart public policy that saves lives. I want to thank the author of this bill, the gentleman from New Bedford, to the committee chair, To the countless senators in this body, including the gentlelady from Newton, that have championed this bill over many, many years. We know what needs to be done. We know how we need to do it. And I know that our votes today will most certainly reflect why. Thank you, Madam President, for your leadership on this, and I hope that this bill is adopted.